is, running it down on these niggas.
Sex, drugs, money, and murder, my nigga. You know how we get it, my nigga. Still be painting them bitches, my nigga. Ripping that roll and fucking your bitches. Sex, drugs, money, and murder. 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 Niggas, they never gon' hurt you. Niggas will never will hurt you. Sex, drugs, money, and murder. Sex, drugs, money, and murder.
How the traps right, understand how to get that. Ran down on them niggas with a flip back. Knew I never seen another nigga live like that. I was still getting stacks back. Had to fuck around getting them packs back. Niggas.
Now, were you and Pac on good terms when he passed? Because I know y'all had a kerfuffle once.
No, I kind of that's a strange because he did apologize.
What was the kerfuffle? I don't remember.
How you forget that?
I don't
That's a
remember.
classic moment.
Me. I don't know.
Tupac put hands on the Hughes brothers, and you remember he was on Yo MTV Raps, and Ed Lover was trying to cover his mouth and say because he was talking about putting hands on.
That's how I won the case.
Really?
Yep.
For him doing MTV.
You think?
I had a shitty attorney. First of all, just so you know, after it happened, because it was 10 guys that.
So what happened for people that don't know? There's
Oh my God, this is the
story. A
lot
of people don't know.
I didn't sleep enough to tell this story. Well, we eventually had to fire him from Menace because he was just becoming a handful, and I could tell it was just there was no way for us to. It was starting before Menace, and I tried to work it out with him, but he just, in my opinion, wasn't being reasonable, and I'm sure he would say the same of me.
Of course.
And this is between
me and him.
How do you
fire Tupac, though?
Say again?
How do you fire Tupac? Who had that conversation?
Who had that conversation? Who walks in that trailer?
It was in pre-production, so we were in rehearsals where we had several little blowouts. And then I called him later that night. Well, he told me to call his manager. I called his manager. His manager's like, well, Tupac this, Tupac that. Let me talk to Tupac. Called Tupac. He goes, I'm not talking to you. Talk to my manager. I said, like, there's no way we can't do this, Tupac. Like, if I can't talk to you, I'm going to have to let you go. Talk to my manager. So next day I went to New Line Cinema and I said, we got to let him go.
Oh, so you didn't want to fire him?
No.
You wanted to work it out?
No, I wanted to work it out.
Wow.
Yeah. And he was making a lot of money. And by the way, to Tupac's credit, he was one of the reasons why the movie got greenlit, because they wouldn't greenlight it unless we had someone of note or a platinum artist in the film. And Tupac, as a friend, signed on early and helped us with that film, you know. And I remember the termination letter, and that's what happened. He got terminated, and there was rumors that Tupac was looking for us. And I'm not going to make this about my brother because this is the decision I made. I dealt with the actors. Albert was out there scouting locations when this happened, But anyway, we pulled up in the Spice One music video for the soundtrack, Trigger Has No Heart, Got No Heart, I can't remember the title. And I saw Tupac sitting there with 10 gangsters already liquored up and high.
So you knew what it was.
Yeah, and that's what happened. I'll just make this story short because it got bloody, it got brutal on me. And but what was the point I was on making?
Did you fear for your life in it?
Yeah. Oh, I thought it was a wrap. I mean, in the middle of it, when the beatdown was going down, I saw the blood, felt the blood. I mean, the thing that was a miracle was because I had never been beat up before. I've been in a lot of fights, but I'd never been beat down. And I'm not no fighter ass dude either, so I'm not trying to act like I got hands or anything like that. But I just remember going, damn, I don't feel anything. I was amazed by what the adrenaline does. And I had to go to the hospital. It was that bad, and that's what happened.
And you said him on Yo MTV Raps is what got you.
Oh, so what happened? That's it. You got the point. So there was a mutual friend, mutual friends. I'm like, just tell him to meet me in the park. I was like, meet me in the park, man. I'm not threatening you. I've seen people hug, tongue kiss, catch a beat down the park. Whatever it is, let's resolve it as men, just one-on-one.
What did you want?
I just wanted
hug,
to
a tongue kiss.
Why were those the options?
I'm just saying that's what I see in the park.
Okay, got you.
I've seen all kinds of things go down in the park,
And this was in L.A. or New York?
In L.A.
In L.A.
And I just kept getting rejected. I said, all right, so that's when I took it to court. And I had a real shitty attorney. And I'm in the preliminary stage. I go, you know what? Pull the MTV, that moment you're talking about, where he's threatening and re-threatening.
And he confessed to it.
Yep. And
says,
and
say he's going to do it again.
Yeah, when I catch him in traffic, I said, pull the tape. Let's show that to the jury. when they showed that tape to the jury, you should have saw their faces. That's what won the case.
Wow.
Who's Ed Lover too? Ed Lover was trying to save Pac from himself.
Yeah, he was trying. He was trying. Yeah, I remember that. He was trying to cover his mouth and he couldn't talk. I remember. Yeah.
Crazy.
How did you feel when you first saw that on your MTV Rap? Did you see it yourself? Or,
Yeah. I saw it live.
How did that make you feel as a person? And how did that impact your life?
You know, that's a great question. Because when I did Dear Mama, it was the first time I realized, like, oh, there was trauma. That, you know, me, I'm just like, just move past it. I never really recognized the thing. So at the time, it was surreal. Tupac was one of the most surreal motherfuckers on the planet. Like, anything he did, it was, like, surreal. So it wasn't real. It wasn't real. I don't remember feeling like, oh, my God, I got to watch out for myself. I remember with Tupac, because we were so much contemporaries, and I knew him intimately. Like, we spent a lot of time, like, as friends together. I didn't fear him like that, and he wasn't the image to me that people thought he was. I actually saw more of the sensitive, understanding side of Tupac than anything. The well-read side of Tupac, the reasonable side of Tupac. So when I saw him doing that, I think something in me was like, he's grandstanding, and you know, I can't wait to see him again without the dudes. Not like let's fight, but I can't wait to see him again without the dudes.
I think some people are concerned that you might try to paint Pac in a negative light because of that situation with Dear Mama. Because I remember when they first announced it, I saw people that are close to Pac online saying, like, no, why is he doing Dear Mama? Like, what story is he going to tell?
What kind of bitch-ass shit would I be on to, first of all, not be proud of, like, the icon he's become? And why would I want to shit on that? If anything, the reason why I took the job was I want to understand him more. And I'm trying to understand, like, and I don't want, you go around the world, Africa, South America, Asia, Europe, you see that mural. You don't see anyone around the world like that. I don't give a fuck who it is. Like, you don't see him in Africa like you see Tupac. And I always looked when I was traveling, I go, man, I wonder, he's the strange, paradoxal, if I can use that word, 20th century figure that you can project anything you want to into. Lover, fighter, saint, sinner, poet, philosopher, violence, whatever you want to see, you'll see in Tupac. You know, I've noticed that about him. He's almost biblical in that way. But I was upset by that. I'll go, what's the true meaning of this journey? And I had to go back to his mother to find that. And that fight for social justice and what he truly stood for, what his true morals were. So when people were saying all that stuff, and they continue to say that stuff about me, is like, and as black men and as black boys, I think it's really dangerous for us not to acknowledge, like, you know, the trauma and trying to heal it too, trying to get some understanding. Absolutely. Like, why would I come into this? And my arrogance, my only confidence in this whole journey was like, you know what? I just don't feel like his story was ever done justice in the documentaries and the features.
Really?
I just feel like it was always surface stuff, and not to knock anyone, because there was some docs and some stuff that was decent. But, you know, all the power of cinema that I can bring in emotions and spiritual, psychological, sensual, like, I just want to understand him, you know, and you can't judge. The audience can feel too when you're judging someone like that. That's you can't do that. I say too, like, Tupac is on. It's like your grandma has MLK, JFK, and Jesus over there. Tupac's on that other wall. So you got to be real mindful when you're dealing with something like that.
So break down
everything for us.
What part was Pac supposed to play in Menace?
He was supposed to play Sharif, the Muslim.
The Muslim, Muslim brother, and you know,
and therein lied the problem.
But he didn't want to be the Muslim brother. He wanted to be old dog.
You know what's interesting is, by the time, let me back up a second.
And the Muslim brother had a big part in Menace too.
He did.
It wasn't a small part.
I'll back up a second. When we were doing music videos with Tupac, and I think our relationship, our friendship, our intense friendship lasted maybe 9 months. I would pick him up at the Burbank airport, and that was that. One day I picked him up at the Burbank airport. I'm sorry, didn't sleep last night. Him and his brother Mo Preem, and we went to the Paramount lot, and it was the first time he saw Juice, and I never even knew about Juice. And I just remember he had like 1 or 2 tattoos at the time. He wasn't tatted up. He wasn't whatever. I remember everything changed after he saw Juice.
After he saw himself in Juice.
A lot of people say that. They either say after he changed, after he played Juice, or after he saw himself in Juice.
I saw it when he saw it. What I didn't know at the time was he was aware of what the critics were saying about him because you get the early reviews. So he knew going in that this was well reviewed for him. But I saw a change. He saw a script. He saw a thing happening because I always say Tupac signed his record deal 3 years too late. If you think about what he represented as far as like social justice, black power, all that stuff, that was 88. That was 87. He signed his deal in 91. You know, Niggas for Life album was at the top of the charts. And I think he was always struggling with like, damn, this is what's hot now. It's not who I am, but this gangster shit's hot now. And I saw that struggle in him. But when he saw Juice, you can see it in his actions after that. Like,
describe it more, because we didn't know Pac personally. You knew him personally. So
I saw
was he more Sharif before Juice?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But he was also more humorous, just lighthearted. Don't get me wrong, there was always that darkness there too, that edge there. But
that's why y'all wanted him as Sharif, because that's what you've seen him as.
That's right. We saw him as that enlightened brother, you know, and funny. He would have brought a whole nother dimension to that role as well. Vontae Sweet was incredible in that role, don't get me wrong, but I think he saw that movie and he saw the script to the end. That's my personal feeling. He saw the script. He said he saw what people were reacting to, and Tupac is a performance artist. I don't think he was aware of that, but he's a consummate performance artist, and he just got edgier and darker after that, and then the tats started showing up. You know, I mean, rapidly, not like within 6 months. I'm talking about within weeks. You know.
So, ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Bulletz Gotti. You know, before we start this video, I want y'all to do is smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, share this video, and make sure y'all hit that notification bell. Subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and smash the like button. It's your boy Bulletz Gotti. It's the Bulletz Gotti Show. Salute. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Bulletz Gotti. So, I'm making another video to talk about the Tupac Dear Mama series that's coming on FX and Hulu, which is basically talking about Afeni Shakur, a relationship with her son Tupac Shakur, and it's done by Allen Hughes. Now, if you don't know who Allen Hughes is, he's the one that directed Dead President, him and his brother, the Hughes brothers. They directed Dead Presidents, Menace to Society. They also did a lot of Tupac music videos back in the days, like When a Homie's Call. All his early work, Brenda's Got a Baby, all his early work was done by the Hughes brothers, right? They fell out because of the whole, Menace to Society, Sharif character, and he was the one that actually got the movie greenlit for them. And basically, they fell out with the movie, and what led to, them having this problem where Tupac and them, beat the Hughes brothers up, and basically they won a lawsuit, because of him, the infamous Yo MTV Raps episode with John Singleton, Ed Lover, and Tupac, where Ed Lover is covering Tupac's mouth. Like, in my opinion on the whole documentary, right, and I hear a lot of people who's having, like, they boycotting it because of what, Allen Hughes said about, Tupac, and just basically the whole documentary, and being that this is a man that sued Tupac, this is a man that Tupac was incarcerated for, this is a man that basically, was a friend and then became a foe. This is a dude that he got a falling out with. Now, mind you, a lot of things been going on with the Tupac estate. I'm gonna just keep it real. You see Tupac's sister, having issues with Tom Wiley over the whole estate and how it's being run. And really and truly, a lot of things haven't been done the right way when it comes to Tupac. Like, I think when, the best documentary I always say was Tupac Resurrection, which was done with MTV. That was a good documentary. And after that, it just went downhill, like the All Eyes on Me movie with, you know, Benny Moon producing it, and actually it did a terrible depiction of Pac's history. John Singleton was originally the director, but he basically, how you say, wasn't a director of the movie anymore because of, you know, difficulties of coming together on ideas and certain scenes that he wrote in the movie. Like they said, he wrote a prison scene where Tupac was going to be sexually assaulted, which was a lie that Wendy Williams put out there in the 90s, which was a lie. He did not get assaulted in Clinton Correctional Facility, but she put this lie out on a radio show back in the 90s when she was on Hot 97. So mind you, fast forward, you know, hearing a lot of things that Allen Hughes said about Tupac, disparaging, calling him delusional, said he was an actor, and, you know, even though he was an actor, he was trained, you know, in the arts and in the theater. But to say he wasn't a gangster, just to discredit the man legacy and to discredit the man's name because of the falling out that they had, you know. Now, mind you, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, right? I understand they want to do the story, and his. Let me just say this: his aunt is involved in it. His godfather's also involved in it. So it's a lot of people that's involved in it. That's, you know, family to Pac that's involved in this picture. After, you know, you got to remember, if you remember the Defiant Ones that Allen Hughes did on HBO, and originally this was supposed to be done on HBO. This wasn't even originally supposed to be done on FX. This was supposed to be a HBO project, but HBO shot the project down, so they took it to FX, which will be preparing on Thursday, and which should be a beautiful thing. But in my opinion, I feel like when you tell Pac's story, and even his mother's story, it's a complex story. But if you're going to do a Afeni Shakur story, that's good. But when you do Pac's story, you know, his story is a real story that needs to be told the right way. I feel like with a lot of people, because the original title wasn't Dear Mama. The original title was, I think it was America's Most Wanted. I think it was the original title of the documentary was America's Most Wanted. But it originally, they changed it to Dear Mama, right? But that was the original title of the documentary. And this documentary was supposed to came out in 2019, you know, so, you know, it's finally coming out in 2023, but this is originally supposed to come out in 2019. And like I said, like, you know, Pac's story is a real complex story, and I hope that it's done, you know, right. I hope that the story is, they depict him in a great way, you know, because a lot of people, I've been watching a lot of documentaries when it comes to Tupac and his legacy, and people just be slandering him, you know what I'm saying, like, talking about like he just went the wrong way, and like he was just a madman, a crazy madman that just was beefing with everybody, and people forgot this man got shot 5 times in Quad Studio, lined up by dudes that he thought was his homies. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, what the sad part is that he was a real one. You know, they don't make dudes like that come from the struggle like he did. You know what I'm saying? Coming from, you know, the background of the Panthers, and Tulu Shakur being his step-pops, and, you know, Afeni being his mother, and, you know, having a legacy, a rich legacy like that, you know what I mean? You know, Asada Shakur's aunt, and, you know, having a lot of important figures in his family, you know what I'm saying? And even, you know, no Chaz from Black Hand is Pac's cousin, you know what I'm saying, through Tulu Shakur. So, you know, he has a rich history, you know, but what people don't understand is Pac's story is a real story, man, that, you know, yes, he went to the school of the arts, but he still was living in poverty, man. He still, and people keep forgetting that, This dude lived in the hood. This dude, his mom's, you know, was on crack. You know, his mom's was on drugs. You know what I'm saying? She was on coke and then she went to crack. You know what I'm saying? So his mother had an addiction problem. And not only that, his mother had an addiction problem, but, you know, he went through a lot. You know what I'm saying? When he lived in Baltimore, people forgot. Pac is from Harlem. You know what I'm saying? And he lived on the east and the west side of Harlem. And from Harlem, he went to 183rd. A lot of people don't know Pac stomping grounds was 183rd in the Bronx. You know what I'm saying? I told people like this, they need to name a block after Pac on 183rd or name the block after him in Harlem. You know what I'm saying? On 129th, because I think 124th and 129th, Pac used to live. You know what I'm saying? So Pac is from the town, but people got a depiction of Pac. Pac is really from Harlem / the Bronx, you know what I'm saying? And he went to Baltimore. A lot of people don't understand. Pac went to Baltimore at 16. At 16 years old, he went to Baltimore. 15, 16 years old, he went to Baltimore. You know what I'm saying? And he left Baltimore at 17, 18 years old. He went to Cali. He wasn't in Cali that long. When he went to Cali, he was like 18, 17 years old. You know what I'm saying? And that's what niggas don't understand. So Pac history, you know, started in, like I said, in Harlem, the Bronx, and in Baltimore. And then he went to the Bay Area, you know what I'm saying, Marin, because that's where he was at. He was in Marin. And he was raised over there, and that's where he learned the game at, you know what I'm saying? But Pac still had love in Uptown. He still had love in New York, you know, Queens, the Bronx, Harlem. He still had love. You know what I'm saying? Still had love. You know, and what a lot of dudes' misconceptions of Pac is that he was just a troublemaker. He was a loyal dude to default. And he wore his heart on his sleeves. That's why I respect Pac and I respect his legacy, because if it wasn't for Tupac Shakur, man, a lot of people don't understand that, you know, he changed the game. He was like what Allen Iverson was to basketball, what he was to hip hop. He changed the game. And I think when dudes be discrediting him and try to like Whack 100, the Allen Hughes brothers, or any of these dudes, you know, MCA, whoever, when I be listening to them, when they do interviews and they try to discredit Pac and try to make Pac seem like he was a sucker or he wasn't a real one, no, he was. You know what I'm saying? Nothing happened to him when he was locked up in Clinton. People love to say like something happened. Nothing happened to him when he was in Clinton. Nothing happened to him when he was on Rikers. You know what I'm saying? The misconception and the lies that people tell about the dude is that this dude was just a madman that was on a rampage just to beef with niggas. And that's false. He was just a man that basically was going through the trial and tribulation of a black male growing up in the crack era. Saying everything that happened to Pac was, I gotta remember when he got shot, he was like 23, right? He got shot when he was 23. He was 24 when he came home, right? When he dropped the 2 albums, he was 25. That's what niggas don't understand. He was 25 when he dropped All Eyes on Me, and he died at 25, right? So 23 when you get shot 5 times, right? 24, you come home from prison. And then 25 when you die. You gotta understand that. You know what I'm saying? It's deep like that. You know what I'm saying? And this is a dude that, you know, by birth, man, he was public enemy #1. By birth, because of that Shakur last name. You know what I'm saying? By birth. And because of who his mother was. You know what I'm saying? The whole Panther 21. You know what I'm saying? So it just shows you that he went through a lot. You know what I'm saying? And I always tell people that whole East and West shit was COINTELPRO, my nigga. It had nothing to do with no beef, because everybody that was involved was all cool. Puff was cool with Suge. Pac was cool with Big. Pac was cool with Puff. Biggie was cool with Pac. everybody was cool in the situation. What happened was some COINTELPRO niggas did what they did to Pac in Qual Studio, and this is what happens. Let's keep it real. You know what I'm saying? So, R.I.P. to Tupac, Amari Shakur. I just hope that Allen Hughes get the story right. Don't diminish that man's legacy. Don't smear that man's legacy. Don't slander him. Because, you know, I heard in a lot of interviews, and I've watched a lot of interviews that he tried to play Pac out. And this is the nigga that basically, if it wasn't for Pac greenlit and having the movie Menace to Society greenlit, there wouldn't be no Menace to Society. Because it was him that helped out that movie side there. Because remember, they was his directors. Both of the Hughes brothers was his directors for his videos. You know, they started off being video directors. Brenda's Got a Baby, Strap, what's the other video record? When My Homies Call. All that was the Hughes brothers. All that early Tupacalypse shit was the Hughes brothers. They did all his videos. You know what I'm saying? So make sure y'all do his legacy. Make sure Allen Hughes do his legacy right, man, and don't play him out, man, and do his mother legacy right. You know what I'm saying? It's sad that both of them is not here. I hope they get Matulu in there, man. You know, because Matulu home. I know he's bad. He's in bad health. You know what I'm saying? He's very sick. My prayers go out to him and the whole Shakur family. And like I said, man, I just hope they do the legacy of Tupac right with this Dear Mama documentary. I'm just keeping it real. This video, please make sure that you like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Make sure we get in the algorithm. Like, share, and subscribe if you like this video, and hit the notification bell. It's your boy Bulletz Gotti Show 2.0.